Today we're talking about optimizing time, a guide for fitness business owners, and it is really important to manage your time effectively because minutes, hours can just seep by, can't they, Andrew? If they don't, we all get dragged into I'll pick up my iPad and get dragged into the world of Twitter. At the moment, I will have to say caveat this because I'm looking for Everton news, and obviously part of that dropped yesterday with the old reduction in our points and stuff. So it is, social media can be a time sucker, I guess.
It can. And this episode goes out. We've had this conversation with a number of the Strength Matters community that I'm struggling to manage my time effectively. And it happens to us all, no matter what size of business we have. If we're I call them solopreneur, it's a business of one, where we're managing everything. We're the coach, we're the bookkeeper, we're the marketing person, we're the salesperson. We wear a number of different hats within the business. But equally, if we've got a small team, if we've got a team of trainers that we're working with, or we've got an admin support or whatever it might be, it can be challenging to manage our time effectively. And then mixing in, we're all human. We have personal lives outside of business, trying to devote the quality time that our significant others deserve, then that can play its part. And it can be a huge challenge, particularly when you're running your own business. So, there are unique challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis as business owners.
Yeah, definitely. So let's dive in then. What are some key time management strategies? What are some that we use at Strength Matters?
We put together, and it's based upon things I've used externally. I've done so many different time management courses in the past, and you end up spending more time on the actual concept of managing your time that you're not getting anywhere. So, but it's been, I guess, through years of experience and trial and error, we've developed, we call it the weekly plan. And that's been a tool that's become particularly helpful for our Strength Matters community, in that we look at we block time at the end of each week to review how that week's gone, basically tidying your desk so that you can enjoy your weekend. But then ahead of the next week, we're also blocking some time to look at what are the three big rocks, we call them, the three big tasks we need to focus on in the coming week, and then knowing what they are and then breaking them down into manageable chunks over the course of the week enables us to get so much more done. I call it time. Well, I haven't coined this phrase, but I call it time blocking. So I'll look at the tasks I need to do, and then I'll look at the time I have available each day, because generally as a fitness professional or a therapist, you're going to have your client sessions in your calendar. But more often than not, there's going to be spaces around them that we can block out time to do some focused work on the key things that we need to get done. And if we do that, as opposed to thinking, oh, I'll go make a coffee and then I'll check social media and the likes, yes, there's a time and a place to do that. But if we make that our first port of call, then suddenly we're down that rabbit hole, and you're discovering the parameters around the Everton points deduction, and 2 hours has gone by. So the key, I think, is time blocking, essentially.
Definitely. I think it's, I don't know whether it's old school or what. Well, it's very simple, but I find I've got my notebooks here. I use notebooks a lot. Just simple list writing for me, and just tick them off. It is really effective. I know that is a really simple thing. It's not utilizing any technology, just pen and paper. But if I don't do that, then I do get sucked into, my mind will just wander, and I'll end up just looking at random things, and it's like, refer to my list. Did you do anything like that as well, Andrew?
I can't reach mine. I put it just out of the way there, but I'm old school. So yeah, I've tried various digital apps on my phone and things, and I do have I use Google Calendar. I'll use the Google suite of products for things, and I'll have my calendar so that I've got a framework in place. But from that, I like to see me scoring things out on my to-do list. So I'll have that list to hand, but then on my diary, I'll have mapped out. I'll block time where it's either client work, it's my training time to do my workouts or whatever. But then I'll have white space as well, just for those moments in the day where something's going to crop up that you have to react to, and those pieces of white space are important. And I never used to have them. My diary would look a bit overwhelming because it would be crammed with so many things to do, and then you start panicking if you're overran on a particular piece. So making time and making space is important. And we mentioned writing lists. Again, the mistake I used to make, and I still do at times, is that I put too much on the to-do list for the day. And if you can pick maybe between 3 and 5 items, 5 is perhaps even too much, but the 3 most pressing things that you want to get done, then that can be a big help.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think we're both a bit old school and we like pen and paper. But in terms of technology, you mentioned a couple. Are there any useful technologies that can productivity apps that we can use? Anything like that?
Yeah, there's heaps out there. You'll find apps. I've used Todoist before. That's one that you can get on your laptop, but equally on your phone. They both integrate with each other. We use now more of a project management tool here at Strength Matters, ClickUp, but that gives us visibility on the tasks as a team we have to do, and it enables us to then delegate certain parts of each task or each project to each member, so that we've got those items. But there's things like Trello, Monday.com, are all good things to do, and old school apps like Evernote still play a part as well. But it's like anything, I guess, Josh. It's finding something that you're comfortable with and something that you're going to adhere to. On that side, I think is key.
Yeah. So for us, as you say, ClickUp for managing projects, and then Slack for efficient communication. We find the best way, don't we? Which obviously Slack is a godsend, I think, for us in terms of saving time and knowing where we all are and what we're doing. Before we wrap up, any sort of pitfalls that you can how to overcome any particular pitfalls with time management?
Yeah, absolutely. It brings it in nicely, because I was thinking of this one particular conversation I had last week with someone. There was a sense of overwhelm. They're looking at everything they need to get done, and they were just procrastinating. There just seemed to be so much they didn't have a clue where to start because everything looked urgent. I've had that happen to me as a fitness professional in previous occupations I've been in, where you just can't think straight. That noise in your head is just overwhelming. So the best way I've found to silence that noise is what I call a brain dump. And this is a concept I was introduced to about 12, maybe 15 years ago, in that when you've got that sense of overwhelm and you're not quite sure what to do, just take some time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just grab yourself a cuppa, turn your phone off or whatever, and then just go old school, pen and paper, I find is the best. And just clear out that clutter in your head. What do you think? What are those things that you're thinking of? I've got to pick up the kids. And so it could be, it's not just business, or it's everything. So it's personal and business related. It's whatever's going on in your head. And if you've got it down on paper, you might be launching a new program. You might be having to book a venue for the workshop you're hosting, or whatever these things are. Just get them down on paper. And then you can see what's important. And I used to have my marker pen, so I could color personal things green, marketing things red, different colors. It doesn't matter which colors you use. But then I could see at a glance I'd categorize them, and then I can look at them and say, actually, yes, that's important, but that one above it is more important. So you can then, with clarity, prioritize the important things. So you can keep that brain dump as your master list, and then pull the most important items off there to plug into your weekly plan. And then you'll find that you get over that sense of overwhelm, and you've got direction and purpose then that you can move forward with getting a lot of these tasks completed. So that's how I've dealt with it.
So let's summarize the key. What would be the key takeaways then in how fitness business owners can optimize their time?
I think if you've got that overwhelm, certainly start with the brain dump. That give you clarity on direction, and then model what we do with a weekly game plan. And look to determine what your most pressing big items you need to get done that particular week, and then you can break them down into time blocks in your weekly calendar. And that weekly calendar could be notepad, could be a quill and if you want to go
quill and ink. Yeah, that won't take much time.
or it could be one of the apps that we've discussed. Find what works best for you, but block your time accordingly, and then in that time slot, focus on what you've set that time aside for, and you will get traction from that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. I actually haven't made a list today. I'm going to have to do that after we record this podcast. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you want help getting more clients or patients, then book in for your free 15-minute strategy call with us by going to strengthmatters.com/strategy.